Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Thursday, and you know that means we've got 13 plus 1 list of things today. We've decided to change it up a bit, and I'm going to have 7 things, Roger's going to have 7 things, and maybe one of those things might be the same thing. I doubt it, but you never know.
I bet there's a possibility we may cross, and then
or
if
maybe
it does,
we can
we'll just
do
expand.
one of those 7 steps to something, right? Like Stephen, what is his name? Kevin Bacon. One of those, right? There's always like 7 steps to Kevin Bacon.
6 degrees.
So that last
Kevin
person,
Bacon.
one person on this list will probably be 7 steps away from Kevin Bacon.
Well, Kevin Bacon is always on my list of person of the year.
Oh, of course, right? He's always number 1. This is Before Coffee, the first and only international game show, a father-daughter podcast where we look up our stories right before we've started. We've just got some caffeine in our bodies, and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. Let's roll that segue wheel, but first, get into today's headlines. Today on Thursdays 13. Bulgarian government collapses after weeks of mass protests.
That's the whole headline? Wow. Okay, and despite Hungary's objections, EU maps Ukraine's road to ascension, and we're going to talk about AI ruining people's lives, and we got us a lawsuit.
Australia receives first climate migrants from seeking Pacific nation Tuvalu. That's right, our hot planet is already starting to kick people out.
What planet are they going to go to? And today we're going to have the person of the year. Who's your person of the year? Here's the most important person in your entire life. I mean, leave me out of it. That's obvious. It's not me. I'm not eligible for this. But besides me, who's the most important person in your life and in the entire world? We're going to find out.
And because the Golden Globes are happening soon, I've actually drawn up a list of people who've never won one. Even though they've been nominated and you know their names, or they've had crazy roles or they did crazy acting, not a single Golden Globe on their docket. And
That's
in my
crazy.
Culture news, also food for thought, Italian culinary traditions are making the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage List. So, now no longer allowed to make really bad lasagna because that's protected under UNESCO.
Yeah, okay. And it's National Stretching Day. And I know that's right up your alley, if you excuse the pun. It's December 11th, 2025 on Before Coffee.
I did my yoga and I did the corpse pose, which is basically just laying on the ground. And then after that pose, I always do a nice cat stretch, where you really reach your arms up and your legs, and you know how cats stretch, right? They become very long. I love a nice cat stretch. And you have to groan too. It's not a good stretch if you just stretch. You have to go, ah!
And professional athletes pay somebody to stretch them. Of course, a lot of people do. You just go get a massage therapist, and they will stretch you for you. And of course, a lot of these professional athletes are like, "Oh, she wants to have sex with me too," and they're like, "No, therapist." And a lot of them get in trouble. The kicker for the Baltimore Ravens, the quarterback.
That's really sad.
Deshaun Watson. I can't think of the idiot kicker for probably the best kicker in the history of the league. He had to get cut because he could keep his hands to himself. Yeah, you gotta watch. You gotta make sure you keep your eye on that kind of stuff. A kicker, an NFL kicker, is just a glorified soccer player. It's not really a football player. But they need stretching. If you're gonna kick the ball 60 yards, you need to stretch, man. Anyway, there's National Stretching Day.
Warmed up. Let's roll our first segue wheel for my short story here about Bulgaria government collapse. Give me a bad pun.
Oh boy.
The story is, of course, coming out of Bulgaria by Katrin Joshikova on Politico. We're going to hear the voice of the citizens protesting against the government, says outgoing Prime Minister Rosen Zelazkov. Bulgaria's Prime Minister Rosen Zelazkov resigned today on the 11th of December, following weeks of huge protests against the government across multiple cities. The announcement came shortly before the cabinet faced another vote of confidence. The 6th. That's 6. Most people have 2. 6 since they took power in January of this year. So one every 2 months, they're like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Or she. I actually don't know the gender of the prime minister, but I think it was a man on the picture. We have no doubt that the upcoming vote of no confidence the government will receive a report. But for us, the decision of the National Assembly have meaning only when they express the will of the sovereign, said Zelazkov. A formal vote on government's resignation must be taken at the next plenary session in Parliament, where the coalition still holds a majority. Bulgarian President Rumen Radev will now invite the parliamentary parties to form a new government. If they fail, which is likely, according to Politico, he will appoint a caretaker cabinet to govern the country until a new election is organized. The Balkan country has held 7, so that's 6 votes of no confidence where people are like, this guy doesn't know how to run a government, and 7 snap elections where the people are like, we want a change of government, do another vote. 7 times since massive anti-corruption protests in 2020 against the Borisov government. The mass protests that started in November of this year were provoked by a controversial budget proposal that imposed higher taxes on the private sector while channeling more funds to the state sector. But ultimately, the budget was only the spark. The real driving force behind the demonstration has been broader dissatisfaction with the government itself. What began as an economic grievance quickly grew into a nationwide movement calling for accountability, transparency, and new leadership. Where's all this money going to? And why is it all going into your pockets? Our desire to rise to the level of what society expects at this moment, as the Constitution dictates, power derives from the voice of the people. We hear the voice of citizens protesting against the government, Zelazkov said. Young and old, people from different ethnic groups have spoken out for the resignation. We support the civic energy and encourage it, he added. Bulgaria is preparing to adopt the euro in January 1st, with roughly half the population skeptical of the move amid fears of inflation and disinformation spread by Russia, aimed at undermining public support for a single currency. Yeah, they would do that. No, don't join the EU. You have to join the Russian Federation that I'm trying to create. If you join the EU, you've chosen sides with NATO, and you're going to be the enemy of Russia. They say on their TikTok doom-scrolling bots saying, don't do it! I do want to read this quickly about this article talking about this information. This is from, I don't know, November earlier this year. Bulgaria is adopting it on the 1st, so very soon they're going to adopt it. But there has been reports that have been identified as Russian-funded social media campaigns that undermine support for the euro. In April of this year, a far-right party, Revival, which runs several anti-euro protests over the last year, signed a deal with Vladimir Putin, Russia United. That's not suspicious at all. I sign here that I will create a campaign for you. It's no secret Russia is waging a hybrid war against Europe and European member states. It's a provocation, acts of sabotage, violation of European airspace, meddling in political processes in the European Union and also in other countries, and spreading disinformation. We're hoping they would tell me what the disinformation is, but they didn't. But it's probably just, things. If we switch to the euro, there'll be inflation and bread will be 10 euros instead of 5 like it is now, and you won't be able to afford to do anything. Probably stuff like that. That's what they always say, right? When you have risk of inflation, you're gonna die because you won't be able to afford anything, and the government is just gonna abandon you. I don't think so. If there's inflation, governments are gonna try to support people and try to get them back on track. They're not just gonna ignore you and say, good luck. Good luck out there. Because they care about the economy too, funnily enough. There is your story
Right
about
on.
Bulgaria. I'm sure it'll be completely fine. They'll figure it out.
The guy's name is Borisov.
No.
Borisov?
Borisov is who was corrupted. That was the corrupted guy.
Right.
The guy
That's-
who just
Works for me.
left
Works for my pun.
is Zelyazakov, but
Zelyazakov. Okay, Borisov. Well, I got 3 puns anyway. One of mine is Borisov, more like boring and soft. Am I right? Anyway, another pun is, well, Sophia so good. It's a bad pun about Bulgaria. And you mentioned Vladimir Putin, or as Donald Trump calls him, Daddy Vladdy. There you go. There's your puns.
I'm giving you a side eye for those puns. Okay, that's my only story.
Daddy. All right,
let's go to yours. I like to keep Thursday short because I feel like we can talk about lists all day, you know?
Yeah, we can spin and
sarcasm.
spin.
Oh, no, not sarcasm. I'm going to tell you a joke. All
right, we're going to do a story about intelligence. First story is about Hungary, and we're back in the EU with the EU stuff, so we might as well just keep going with that subject. Despite Hungary's objections, the EU maps Ukraine's road to accession, and they're like, Hungary, you're just a minor player. Shut the fuck up. You're lucky we even talk to you anymore. AP News has this. Derek Gatapoulos and Elianos Hadjikostis. These are all Greek names, man, for sure. European Union and Thursday handed Ukraine a long list of reforms needed to join the bloc, determined to push the process forward despite the ongoing war and objections from EU member Hungary. Like Hungary, they don't care. The top EU officials and diplomats meeting in Lviv in western Ukraine said the list of demands covering roughly half of the required reforms would allow progress while formal negotiations remain blocked by Budapest. EU membership has become a central goal for Ukraine's effort to anchor itself in the West as NATO prospects stall. Here's a look at the main challenges on Ukraine's road to the European Union. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban insists ascension talks shouldn't proceed during wartime. Oh, who cares what he thinks? Well, you're just going to keep starting wars just to say that, right? Despite being at odds with all their member states, Hungary has stuck to that position. It did not send a representative to Thursday's meeting, breaking with a broader EU consensus. Budapest has also maintained close ties to Moscow. Vladdy Daddy. Mary Bjer, Denmark's Minister of European Affairs, said the EU is moving ahead anyway. It was very clear that we are 26 member countries. We see a future with Ukraine. Ukraine has a lot of land and a lot of potential. They're not looking at today. They're looking at, let's develop this country that we screwed over back in the 90s when we told them, give up your atomic weapons, Russia. You can trust Russia. Nope.
They're going to have to do a lot of work to get all those mines out of the frickin' wheat fields. That's for sure.
Yeah, and of course, Russia just doesn't give a fuck about the crisis they created at Chernobyl. They're just going to keep bombing that area. Well, let's cause a nuclear disaster if we can. Cyprus joined the EU in 2004 as a war-divided island and could offer Ukraine a blueprint for accession. There you go. Cyprus did it. There you go. Even though Cyprus really is barely a country. The island will take over the EU's rotating presidents from Denmark on January 1st and has promised to continue work on Ukraine's bid. So why was, let's see, Hungary was okay with Cyprus in 2004. Maybe they weren't around. Maybe Hungary wasn't a member at the time. I'm not even sure. In a statement to Associated Press, Cyprus Deputy Minister for European Affairs, Marilina Rona, it's a lot of vowels, praised Kiev's extraordinary political will to deliver on key reforms. Despite Russia's ongoing war of aggression, the Ukrainian people continue to defend not only their sovereignty, but also the very principles on which the Union stands: democracy, freedom, human dignity, and respect for fundamental rights. Ukraine must align its administration with most of its EU systems, practices, and rules before joining the bloc, and require reforms divided into 6 clusters. The process is expected to take years. The requirements from the 3 to 4 of those clusters were agreed with Ukraine on Thursday, covering the rule of law and democratic institution, the internal market, and the external relations. Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister Taras Kachka acknowledged that the recent corruption scandal that rocked the government had made rule of law reforms a priority, adding that the pace of alignment was now up to Kiev. Now, we found a way to ensure that the enlargement process continues with the same tempo despite the fact that we still lack formal He said we have a very clear understanding of the benchmarks, what is to-do list and everything else. Ukraine is in the official ascension queue with 8 other hopefuls: Albania, Bosnia, Georgia, who's under attack currently from the right wing, Moldova, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Serbia, and Turkey. Turkey is not part of the EU. They're barely part of Europe, right? They're just like the border territory, right? Right. Yeah, but they won't. Unfortunately, they have the same problem Hungary has. They have a shitty leader that favors Putin, so... Yeah, right. Well, I'm just saying, they have the same problem Hungary has with leadership, is that their leadership, I'm going to be in the European Union, but hey, fuck it. Yeah, but Poland's in, right? Yeah, you got Poland. Poland was in. Poland is in there. I was just saying. An agriculture powerhouse and geographical import for energy, Ukraine, as an EU member, would also counter Russia's influence and extend the Union's fallacies. That goes out saying, there's your story. Just wanted to wrap it up there. Let's have us whatever you I forgot. So I have a short-term memory
I rolled a joke.
That's what it is. It is what it is.
I rolled a joke. So, I have several jokes because you mentioned Hungary and Turkey and all sorts of countries. My first joke.
I'm hungry for turkey. Okay.
Why did Germany invade Hungary in World War II?
Hungary. They wanted the Budapest out of there. That's good.
They were jealous of the Hungarians. That's right. It's a dick joke. It's a dick joke.
Oh no.
A little girl asked her father, more? Daddy, what is corruption? Go bring me a beer and I'll tell you. But Mommy said you should stop drinking. Get yourself an ice cream too while you bring me that beer. There you go. There's a lesson in corruption.
That's right. I'm gonna bribe you.
I need to tell you
mouth,
what it is,
right?
and I'll bribe you so that you can tell you. Remember when Putin said he didn't have any plans to invade Ukraine?
Yeah, I don't
I'm starting to think he was telling the truth. 0 plans. Just send soldiers in there and they'll fold. Yeah, that's my plan.
He was trying to circumvent their government by using Trump and Rudy Giuliani, if you remember that. The first impeachment, right?
So he had no plans with his invasion. He was like, we have people, shoot them, I don't know. Shoot missiles at Kyiv. They'll totally fold in a month. Okay.
Yeah. All the evidence of a criminal activity and still didn't remove him from office. Anyway, another story, because I have 2 stories. We'll try to
double story.
Cut it down a little bit. OpenAI and Microsoft face lawsuit over ChatGPT. Alleged role in Connecticut murder-suicide. This is Dave Collins of Associated Press, wrong with...
Oh, God.
I'm glad that's funny, but Dave Collins. Yeah, I know you're trying to write a joke about it. It's tough one. Dave Collins, Associated Press, Matt O'Brien, and Barbara Ortute. They're all Associated Press. I don't know how you list them separately. They're all Associated Press. San Francisco is the byline. The heirs of an 83-year-old Connecticut woman are suing ChatGPT maker OpenAI and its business partner Microsoft for wrongful death, alleging that the artificial intelligence chatbot intensified her son's paranoid delusions and helped direct them at his mother before he killed her. Police said Stein Eric Solberg, 56, a former tech industry worker, fatally beat and strangled his mother, Suzanne Adams, and killed himself in early August at the home where they both lived in Greenwich, Connecticut. The lawsuit filed by Adams' estate on Thursday in California Superior Court in San Francisco alleges OpenAI designed, distributed an effective product that validated a user's paranoid delusions about his own mother. It is one of the growing number of wrongful death legal actions against AI chatbot makers across the country. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, on AI front, remember I was telling you about the AI crap I keep getting on YouTube, right? Specifically Rick Wilson. It just kept popping up. 2 days ago, Rick Wilson made a video about it. Right? Yeah, everybody's been telling me about these pop-ups, these AIs. Just report them to YouTube. We're going to sue them. So, okay.
Also, good morning, Dorina. Happy almost Friday. And thank you for checking in.
Right on. Throughout these conversations, and happy morning to all of our viewers. We couldn't exist without you. We really appreciate your time and effort. Throughout these conversations, ChatGPT reinforced a single dangerous message. Stein Eric could trust no one in his life except ChatGPT itself, the lawsuit says. It fostered an emotional dependence by systematically painting the people around him as enemies. It told him his mother was surveilling him. It told him delivery drivers, retail employees, police officers, and even friends were targets working against it. It told him that names on the soda cans were threats from his adversary circle. The names on the soda cans.
Oh no, not the share this Coke with a friend soda cans. Oh wow, now we're gonna have to get rid of those.
I know people like this, unfortunately. They just believe any bullshit that comes their way without checking into it. It just makes your brain isn't fun, obviously. You got to meet them halfway by having a brain to start with, right? This is an incredibly heartbreaking situation, and we will continue the filings to understand the details, the statement said. We continue to improve ChatGPT's training. Oh yeah, its training's doing well. You know everybody's out to get you, motherfucker. Oh yeah, really? That's what I always thought. You should get a gun. Oh, I better get a gun. You know, Jesus, people are fucking morons. Not our fine viewers, everyone else. We continue improving ChatGPT's training to recognize and respond to signs of mental and emotional distress, de-escalate conversations, and guide people toward real-world support. We also continue to strengthen ChatGPT. Now, you'll be paying this family a lot of money, son. We're also continuing to strengthen ChatGPT's responsive and sensitive moments, working closely with mental health clinicians. That was a word salad. Schulberg's YouTube profile includes several hours of video showing him scrolling through.
It wasn't our fault, basically.
Goldberg's YouTube profile includes several hours of video showing him scrolling through his conversations with a chat box, which tells him he isn't mentally ill, affirms his suspicion that people are conspiring against him, and says he has been chosen for a divine purpose. Well then, that's convincing. The lawsuit claims that chatbot never suggested he speak with a mental health professional and did not decline to engage in delusional content. ChatGPT also affirms Solberg's beliefs that a printer in his home was a surveillance device, that his mother was monitoring him, and that his mother and friend tried to poison him with psychedelic drugs through the car's vent. Psychedelic drugs aren't poison, just so you know.
They're just a fun time.
Now, you might wake up naked in the middle of a field. That might happen, but yeah, you will have had a good time before you woke up. I guarantee.
If you're not having a good time, the psychedelic drugs aren't working.
Yeah, don't take the brown acid though. That was made in somebody's garage using gasoline or something. Don't take that shit. Anyway, the chatbot repeatedly told Solberg that he was being targeted because of his divine powers. They were not just watching you; they're terrified of what happens if you succeed. This guy thinks he was going to succeed at something. Wow.
Well, he definitely succeeded at something.
This is when people throw their age out at me and say they're smarter because they're older or whatever, and I'm like, in my experience, that has never been the case. Like, my entire experience through school and everywhere else has taught me just because somebody's older doesn't make them smarter, right? The old saying, you can live 45 years or you can live 1 year 45 times, and a lot of these people have just lived 1 year 45 times. They haven't learned a goddamn thing their entire life except selfishness, and that's this guy's problem. I'm the center of the universe. ChatGPT told me so. The lawsuit claims ChatGPT radicalized Solberg against his mother when it should have recognized the danger, challenged his delusions, and directed him to real help over months of conversations. Suzanne's was an innocent third party who never used ChatGPT, no knowledge that the product was telling her son he was a threat. She had no ability to protect herself from danger she cannot see. I hope they win billions and billions of dollars in punitive damages, because in some states there is no limit what juries can allow for punitive damages. You know, punitive damages are not the penalty that they pay for ripping somebody off. That's like the reward they get. They can add punitive damage, right? And criminal charges can be recommended. To me, this is a criminal enterprise. You absolutely should be not giving any advice to anybody. You're a frickin' bunch of ones and zeros located in some, data center somewhere. That's all you are. You're not a person. You don't have any information. And I just keep understanding this fact that just repeating these people. They keep giving me facts that they look up on, like, any kind of chat. And you can look them up yourself and find out they're completely wrong. Or if they are different from the stuff you looked up on your own, well, who's right? You don't know. So you can't use either of the information. Now you got to find a third source. And if that one's different, you got to go find another source until you get the information right. Chat does not have any information that is of any use unless you can cross-reference it somewhere. Because I ask the same question to my little phone all the time. I ask the same question 3 times in a row, phrase it different ways, even though it's the same question, and get 3 different answers. So, there's your story. Let's have us another joke. Unfortunately, somebody had to die.
Well, I'm going to have to make a joke about
who
that.
Lost his mind. What's that?
I'm sadly going to have to make a joke about this. First joke.
Oh, no, it's fine.
This one's nice and not dark at all. What do you call a GPT model trade only on 4chan?
Oh, geez. Red hat moron? I don't know.
Degenerative AI. That one's pretty safe. That's a safe joke. The other day, my friend told me he thinks he has delusions of an Oedipal complex. I called him a paranoid motherfucker. That one's a bit on the nose, This one's the bad joke. Suicide is not a joke. Get help. You can pay someone to shoot you.
Yeah, and by the way, this 83-year-old lady had no idea this is going on.
No,
she was just existing.
She's 80.
Baking cookies for her 56-year-old delusional son, who's like, eat some poisonous cookies.
Drugging me. And finally, for everyone out there who suffers from paranoia and delusions, you're not alone. There's someone watching you.
You know what they say? Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean that people aren't trying to watch you. Oh, I definitely know.
You should be happy someone's watching over you because that means someone cares about you. I don't know why that's a negative thing.
If you think you're being watched, maybe
you probably are.
You know what that thing is? This guy was trying to prove he was being watched by committing suicide, and found out nobody was watching him at all.
Yeah.
But,
sadly.
Maybe on YouTube.
Maybe.
All right. So there's my 2 stories, and your.
Let's roll that segue wheel for my second story, which is going to be a bit longer than the previous one, and it's all about where was it? Here it is. Australia and Tuvalu. This is your accurate metaphor and simile is your segue.
Okay.
Coming out of Australia by Stuti Mishra on The Independent. The first climate migrants from Tuvalu have arrived in Australia, marking the start of the historic relocation effort from one of the world's most climate-threatened nations. And this is hopefully the first and the last, because otherwise you're going to see a lot of other island people having to run because they got no island anymore.
Keep happening.
Tuvalu, a chain of low-lying atolls in the Pacific with a population of around 11,000, is made up of just 26 square kilometers of land in total, most of it less than 2 meters above sea level. It is already losing ground to encroaching tides and storm surges. Scientific modeling suggests up to 90% of its main atoll could be underwater by 2050, under worst-case sea level rise scenarios, leaving communities with nowhere to retreat. Under a 2023 Climate and Security Pact with Australia, known as the Philippine Union, up to 280 Tuvaluans a year can move to Australia as climate impacts worsen. Australian Foreign Affairs official confirmed Thursday, which is today, the 11th of December, that members of the first intake have now arrived, including Tuvalu's first female forklift driver, a dentist, and a pastor who will support Tuvaluan families settling thousands of kilometers from home. More than 1/3 of Tuvalu's population applied for the visa scheme, which the country's leaders described as essential for ensuring the mobility with dignity, right? You don't have people just swarming boats trying to escape because they have no land anymore. As sea level rises threaten the survival of entire communities, the intake is capped to avoid a rapid brain drain in the nation that already faces shortages of skilled workers. Among those who have already relocated is Manupuao Paufalau, a trainee pastor from Whanatfuti, Tuvalu's main atoll, where it's many places the land is barely wider than a road. He plans to live in Naracoorte, a small town in South Australia, where Pacific Islanders work in seasonal agriculture and meat processing jobs. So he can find some other Pacific Islanders that he can know, some people, some of his own people. For the people moving to Australia, it is not only for their physical and economic well-being, but also calls for spiritual guidance, he said in a video released by Australia's Foreign Affairs Department. Tuvalu's Prime Minister, Feleti Teo, visited the Tuvaluan community in Melbourne last month to emphasize the importance of maintaining cultural ties as more citizens prepare to leave. I mean, in a way, when you lose your land, you lose your culture. So, the island life is gone.
Hopefully they got surfing culture, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Have plenty.
That's what they're going to need. Yeah. You have to put that in practice.
On Funafutu, 60% of Tuvaluans live on a strip of land as narrow as 20 meters, an area NASA scientists say could be half submerged by daily tides by 2050, just from the tide, right? No storm, here's the water. Australian Climate Minister Penny Wong said the mobility scheme was designed to help Tuvaluans rebuild their lives while keeping their identity intact. The visa offered mobility with dignity by providing Tuvaluans the opportunity to live, study, and work in Australia as climate impacts worsen, she said in a statement to Reuters. Australia is establishing support services in Melbourne, Adelaide, and Queensland to help new arrivals resettle. Kitai Haulapi, Tuvalu's first female forklift driver. It's crazy that that's a thing, but okay.
Hey man,
who recently
don't
married
have a big population.
I don't know they had a list of forklift drivers. I'm sure there's plenty of girls on farms who know how to drive a forklift, right? But they're not officially certified.
Oh, you got to be certified. You can't just be a forklift driver and say, I know everything about forklifts. You got to get certified, man.
It's just so interesting to have that as oh, wait a minute, we've never had a female forklift driver. It's right here on the list, 0. Anyways, she's the first forklift driver who recently married and moved to Melbourne and said she hopes to find work and send money home. She said she hopes to find a job in Australia and continue to contribute to Tuvalu by sending money back to her family. Dentist Masina Matolu, who will relocate to Darwin with her 3 children, said she plans to use her skills to support Indigenous communities. I can always bring whatever I learn new from Australia back to my home culture, just to help, she said. Tuvalu is considered a front-line nation in the climate crisis, with average elevations of just 2 meters above sea level and limited freshwater supplies. Saltwater intrusion, extreme tides, and coastal erosion have already forced some villages to move inland, even as the government pushes land reclamation projects to preserve habitable areas. Scientists say the country's long-term survival is uncertain under current global emission trajectories. NASA's projections suggest that the worst-case scenario, 2 meters of sea level rise, is up to 90% of Funafutu could be underwater by 2050. In recent years, Tuvalu has become a powerful diplomatic voice for loss and damage finance and climate mobility, arguing that nations least responsible for the crisis face the gravest of consequences. Yeah, Tuvalu didn't put up a factory and start sucking out putting a bunch of heat in the atmosphere. They didn't do any of that. The Tuvalu scheme is the first formal bilateral climate migration pathway of its kind anywhere in the world. and it's being closely studied by Pacific governments who might need to be making their own with other countries around them. UN agencies and legal experts as a potential model for future displacement in a warming world in this hot, hot planet. So, there's some bad news, I guess, for you today. But we talked about this before on the show, actually, about Tuvalu. That probably when they signed this treaty, that they're going to need to get people out. Because, yeah, that water is encroaching.
Oof. All right, my metaphor is like, I made the surfer analogy. It's like surf's up, except permanently. Because there's nothing but surf. There's no land. That's a bad. I consider that.
Poor Tuvalu. Yeah, sadly, it does sound like a situation where it's like, well, just some brown people in the Pacific Ocean. What do I care? You know?
Man, it's an actual.
What did the Tuvaluans ever do for me? Why should I care if their whole island goes underwater? I'm actually really curious about Gibraltar.
Gibraltar's a rock, though. It juts way up, right? So
yeah, I'm just wondering if Gibraltar will ever go underwater.
Well, the sea level would have to rise a long way. You know, they say, well, the shoreline's disappearing, but rocks are going to stay behind. Because they're taller than the rest of the surrounding land. All right. Is there another story?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, now we'll do our list. Do you want to spin the wheel?
I'm going to spin the wheel.
Oh, my glasses. I got to read my list. Okay. Do you want to go first, or should I?
I will come up with an accurate metaphor simile. You should go first so that I can come up with my accurate metaphor simile.
Okay, my number one, I'm just going to read one and you read one. How's that sound? That way we know if we got duplicates.
No, because then I won't have time to think of an accurate metaphor simile. You just do your whole list, and then I'll do my whole list, and then we can talk about it after.
We can't do it that way, because what if all my list is the same as yours? I give you a chance to... Okay, well, whatever. Okay,
I don't know how I'm going to be thinking of a simile when I also have to read a list, is my issue here. I can't multitask.
Okay, just yell it out. Yell it out if you got a duplicate, and I'll just move on to the next one. How's that sound?
Okay.
So, all right. If you got a duplicate on this list, I will go down my list. It's only going to be 7, but as soon as you come with a duplicate, I'll let you cover it, all right? Okay. My number one, I decided I was going to do categories, because there's no way to oh yeah, that guy, the person there was important, whatever. But my thing is what's going to find people that did things this year that are extraordinary, interesting, whatever, stayed in the nose. My first category I decided, which is a tough one, is sports, right? There's not a lot of great sporting events this year. Mostly there were no Olympics. There's no they got world track and field competitions. I mean, you had the Jamaican bobsled team winning a gold in a Canadian event, but it wasn't a worldwide event. It was only Canadian, so it was like a North American thing, right? So not really a big, but my sportsman of the year is going to be Rory McIlroy, the golfer from Ireland. Why Rory McIlroy, you say? First of all, the sports landscape is full of just bad news, mostly about gambling and crap. I mean, I was just reading a story about the Michigan head coach got fired earlier this week for misconduct at work. Like the Michigan University head football coach, one of the highest paid employees in the entire state, got fired for misconduct at work, and then he got arrested the next day, a couple days later, for assaulting somebody. So that guy's completely out of control. Physical assault. So not only out of a job, he's going to prison. So, well,
yeah, that's definitely
innocent until proven guilty.
Definitely time. You got to serve time for that.
But even with the Rory McIlroy story, I'll give you a background. Rory was one of these guys that came out in the middle of Tiger Mania, right? But he was the Australians' great, the great white hope, as they say. He don't care if he's white or black. He's a golfer, right? He's an Irish guy. Anyway, he's got to be one of these guys that, he's like a man after my own heart. I wasn't a big Rory fan before, but he's one of these guys that will throw his club. Now, in the rules of golf, if you throw your club, I think they penalize you in most courses. Also, if you damage your club, you can't replace it. You got to use the clubs you brought on the course. Now, Rory's famous for just bringing his club into the frickin' water and shit, or smacking it on the ground. You can't use a club after you smacked it on the ground. Yeah, so he's, that's kind of the way I play golf. Like, anyway, but he's a top golfer. He's a little short guy. Anyway, this year he won his first Masters. He's won all the major tournaments in the history of golf. He won the Masters this year, but that's not even the reason he's Sportsman of the Year. He's Sportsman of the Year is because Europe won their cup against the United States, and it was held at Long Island, a bunch of Trump idiots there, and they were attacking Rory McIlroy's wife. I have no idea why they would attack somebody's wife, because they're low-life losers. But either way, the Europeans kicked the United States' ass, and Rory McIlroy is the star of that team. All right, Rory McIlroy is the most famous person on that team, and he got personally attacked for hitting a little white ball. So Rory McIlroy is my Sportsman of the Year. My number 2 person on here, I had to go to the music industry, and the music industry is a freaking mess, as evidenced by the total meltdown of Spotify, for instance. The fact that us here on this show, we can't even play a 7-second cut without YouTube. Sure, 7 seconds of a song. It's totally disastrous, right?
Yeah.
Absolute mess of mostly bad music, mostly recycled music, looking for a fresh face. And we got Jesse Wells this year. Jesse Wells went from a YouTube sensation to Jimmy Kimmel Show in March, releasing 4 albums this year, appearing on the Stephen Colbert Show, and being nominated for Grammys. So Jesse Wells, from an unknown guy in Arkansas, just walking out in the field, playing his guitar, to superstar in a span of about 9 months. So congrats to Jesse Wells. He's my Musician of the Year. My Politician of the Year in the United States version is Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Probably a leading presidential candidate if he chooses to do it. Now, we might hear all about the skeletons in his closet, but to me, it's like, you voted for Trump. Why would you care about anybody's skeletons anymore, right? This guy's nothing but a skeleton. He's got skeletons on top of skeletons on top of skeletons. They're not even skeletons anymore. They're out in the open. But, yeah, so Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Why the governor of California? He saw Texas trying to redistrict, and he said, I'll see your redistricting, and I'll redistrict you, and I'll put it to a vote. I won't do it in some back room somewhere. People can vote on my map, and they did, and he won over 60% of the vote. The governor of California, and of course, trolling Trump. If you saw the other day, Trump gave him the idiot thieves in FIFA, which is the world soccer or football organization. F is for football, not soccer, right? FIFA, a bunch of thieves, a bunch of bribery-connected rich assholes, right? They gave Trump a medal, the FIFA Peace Cup medal, the only one they've ever given. Why? Because Trump's an idiot. It probably has a chocolate center, but, he probably tried to see if he could eat it, too. And he puts the medal on himself. So right, the very next thing you see on the internet is Gavin Newsom awarding himself a huge fucking medal. My medal's better than yours, because it's meaningless. It's nonsense. He's like a child. So Gavin Newsom will never stop trolling Trump. Will never stop being funny. He's pretty funny. The one downside of this Gavin Newsom is he once dated Don Jr.'s either wife or girlfriend or whatever. That's kind of creepy, right? Yeah, what's her name? I can't even think of her name. Laura Trump or whatever. I guess they were dating at one time, right? Weird, right? But I don't know. I don't run in those circles. I don't understand people, so I can never understand what attracts people to other people. There's your next person, and that was my number 3. My 4th one, we're still in the entertainment, and I was torn between Colbert and Kimmel. I could say them both, but I'm not gonna say Jimmy Kimmel, because even though you might not like Jimmy Kimmel, you may not even think he's funny, but at least he's got the balls in the what do they call it? The courage of his convictions. He doesn't give a fuck what you think necessarily. He's like, I'm right, you're wrong. You can call me all you think you want. You insult my family, but you're just a loser if you're attacking me. I'm a comedian. I tell jokes. I don't even write the jokes, by the way. Most talk shows don't write their own jokes. They have a team of writers writing jokes. He just tells the jokes. I mean, he has approval on the jokes. He just decided whether they're funny or not. But again, Jimmy Kimmel brought Disney to its knees. Not him, but the boycott. But again, it was started because of the fascism in this country that's taken over. And if you're watching CBS News, I feel sorry for you. It is no longer a news organization. It's a propaganda channel for the right wing because it's owned by this Ralph Ellison guy, or whatever the fuck his name is, and his kid. Don't watch CBS. So Jimmy Kimmel, more important in this country than any news broadcast anywhere, unfortunately. Number 5. Well, number 5 is going to be, you might have duplicated this one. This is politics also, but the guy who won the New York City mayor election, Zoran Mamdani. Get everybody's name wrong. Mamdani is my politician, United States, second person of the year. Not necessarily thinking that New York City is going to change a whole hell of a lot, but it does tell people that you can run a campaign that's safe and effective by just talking to people, just listening to them. Not even talking, listening. Hey, you got a problem? Tell me. Okay, here's a solution, possibly. And communication is 100%. Big. And not only that, not only did winning a New York City election with over 50% in a crowded field, not only did win by a shitload of votes, he was the first mayoral candidate to get over 1 million votes in New York City since the 60s or early 70s. He also charmed Trump. Like, Trump was like, I've never seen Trump smile in my entire life. I've never seen him smile as much as he smiled with when he was with Mamdani. Now, that could be the Adderall. It could be the cocaine. It could be anything he's on. Who knows what this guy's been snorting, right? But he sure looked happy with Mamdani, and that pissed off a lot of right-wingers. They're like, why is he being nice to him? Mamdani actually called him a fascist. And he said, oh, that's all right. Call me a fascist. Okay. We get any duplicates yet?
Nope.
Okay. My number 6 is Greta Thunberg. You have her on your list? I had to go to Europe for another one. Can't be all United States centric in this. Greta, who keeps not going away. And there's a reason why she should. Protesting bullshit that keeps happening. And taking abuse from losers who think it's their job to point out, right? They had to point out that she's on the spectrum.
Okay. She's different than us.
It's like, oh my God, she can't be smart. That's not how it works. You ever watch Rain Man? Rain Man was also, he's autistic and he didn't have a personality, but he sure knew a lot just from intuition or whatever the hell goes on up there, right? A kid that plays piano at the age of 3 is a savant, right? They're not like you and me. There's nothing that we can do about that, and there's nothing we should do about that. Just leave her alone. Greta Thunberg is on my list, and my number 7, which I actually think is more prescient than any of these.
Thunberg, by the way, not Thornburg.
Thunberg? Okay.
Yeah.
Thunberg. Okay, gotcha. I can't read my own writing. Anyway.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday.
This is a recent story, but also an old story. It is well, they're going to share it. They might be related. The drunk raccoon in the liquor store that we reported on is our person of the year. Fully represents the United States, by the way. The drunk raccoon passed out in the liquor store, and his cousin, the crack-smoking raccoon in the car, who was smoking crack right in front of the cops. So the raccoons, who are probably in the category of animals that were take over after we're gone, right? If we need to make friends with the raccoons. We need to learn what their secrets are and stop pretending we're smarter than the raccoons. They're already adopting our bad habits. We need to adopt their good habits. So my person of the year, raccoons. Let's have your list.
Okay. Don't think any of us have shared anything on our list.
Oh, you're gonna have to do honorable mentions then. We'll do honorable mentions.
Okay.
Right?
So, my list is 7 women actresses. 7 actresses who have never received a single Golden Globe, even if they've been nominated for Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. They're not they've won because the Golden Globes are happening, right? We talked about it, I think, on Monday. Well, it's the first kind of marker for who's gonna maybe be nominated for an Oscar, and these people have never won even a Golden Globe, which let's say it's less than an Oscar. Sure, they haven't even won this. First one, Lena Headey, who is famous for playing Cersei in Game of Thrones. She was in, she played the Spartan woman in, of course, Zack Snyder's 300. She's been in she did really great acting in Game of Thrones. She did not receive a single Golden Globe for any of that. She's been in The Brothers Grimm, Possession, The Remains of Day, not a single Golden Globe. And I think she's a pretty great actress. She really played a evil woman with Cersei. So you can't say she wasn't a good actress. I think she's been nominated for supporting actress, but never won it. Next, this is a surprise. Scarlett Johansson, the most paid actress, at least according to like 5 years ago, she was the most paid actress. She has never won a Golden Globe. She's received 5 Golden Globes, but it's eluded her. She's never
I was just watching
a
Woody Allen movie. She's in a Woody Allen movie.
I think she's a great actress too, and it's crazy she's never won one.
Yep.
My next one is Cameron Diaz.
Right? Very famous.
I don't know if I've watched a lot of Cameron Diaz films myself. I know she was in There's Something About Mary, of course. I think that's the one where she
about Mary, right?
Has something in her hair that is not hair gel. And then she was also in Being John Malkovich, which is a great film. That's a pretty good film. So I think you had to be a good actress to be in that one. But sadly, even though she's been nominated 4 times, she's never received a Golden Globe at all. This one was a surprise for me. Now, to be fair, Helen Bonham Carter has won an international Golden Globe. But she's never won an actual primetime Emmy or like just the normal Emmy. She's been nominated 9 times for a Golden Globe, 5 times for a primetime Emmy. Nothing. Only the international one, which is just like you're a foreigner, I guess. But she's been in plenty of non-foreign Hollywood films, right? Nothing.
Yeah, she's well
and she's
known.
A great actress. She gets lost.
If you ask any actor who's in the movie before they accept it, and they say Helen Bonham Carter, I'll do it. I'll do it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Next, we've got some Angela Bassett. Now, Angela Bassett has been a great actress for her entire life.
Played Tina Turner, right?
Yeah,
Tina
she's
Turner.
great.
And
I don't think she's won an Oscar either. She hasn't won an Emmy. She hasn't won an Oscar. Not a single one. She did get an Academy.
Are you sure?
She got an Academy Honorary Award last year in the Oscars.
Oh, really?
But that's sorry, we fucked up. We never gave you an award. Here's one now, right? You know.
Well, she's not too old.
No, she's not. But yeah, she should have won, according to this list that I'm reading from. She should have won the award in Best Supporting Actress for a role in Black Panther, which I agree with. She was the queen / mother of the main character of Black Panther, and she didn't get a role for that.
Turner.
She didn't get
Tina Turner,
one for the sequel. Yeah, she didn't get anything for Tina Turner. Nothing for Angela Bassett. So justice for Angela Bassett. I've been keeping my eye on her for years. And she definitely deserves one, and it's messed up.
Put your other eye on her.
Yeah, keep both your eyes on her. And go yell at somebody who's sitting somewhere and say, vote for this person. I don't even care if she hasn't been in anything. Give her a damn award. Taraji P. Henson. Now, you might not recognize who that is. Because I didn't I recognized her face. I did not recognize her name. Now, she's been in a lot of things. And I think her most famous thing is probably, she's in a lot of peer dramas, you know. I think she might have been in The Help. She was in Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Hidden Figures, that's what she was in. She was in Hidden Figures, which is about the women who got us to the moon. Good. She was the main actress in that film. Right, who did the calculations, the only one who was allowed to go into the white-only bathroom, you know? And she didn't even win an award for that.
She was a computer, an actual computer.
A living computer. She's earned 1 Academy Award nomination, probably for that film, 3 Primetime Emmy nominations, and 2 Daytime Emmy Awards nominations, but she's never actually won for it. She's even been nominated for a Tony for hair braiding in a Best Play category. So she's like,
she's never even
been so close, but she lost other people, so she's not even won any awards and any of this stuff. She's a great actress, so.
Well, we nominated her. We did our part. That's all.
Yeah, there you go. We did it. And finally, this is my 7th one, so it's the less serious one. But J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, has not won an Emmy, an Oscar, a Grammy, or a Golden Globe, or any other major critic-based award. She did receive an Icon Award multiple times, so people know she's an icon. Everyone knows her name. Everyone called me J-Lo when I was in middle school and high school, but no Grammys or Golden Globe. She's only been nominated 2 times for a Grammy and 2 times for a Golden Globe. So there is your list of people who need a Golden Globe.
Ben Affleck.
In January. Actresses specifically, I should say. In January, one of these, I don't even know if they're nominated, but they need to be nominated and win one. Okay. Okay. I don't even know if they're working right now, but they need a Golden Globe.
Now I will read you my I only have one honorable mention.
Okay.
But, that would be Skrilla, the rapper who came up with that rap for 6'7", right? There you go.
Oh, right. Yeah, Skrilla, the person of the year. Because he made the meme of the year. Yeah.
He's on the list. Skrilla. My person of the year again is raccoons. So, that was my final determination. The one species that clearly identifies where we are as a nation. Yeah. Passed out drunk at a liquor store and smoking crack in the car. Definitely.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the crack raccoon. You're right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. The whole raccoon family, not just one.
The freaking meth pipe raccoon.
Well, look, we're doomed. We are doomed. Humans are doomed. Somebody's gonna take our place, and that somebody.
It's gonna be the raccoons, right? They have thumbs. Needs
to have opposable thumbs to operate all our machinery, right? Yeah. You can't operate a forklift with a beak on your bill. You know, the duck can't do it. The crows are smart. All I can do is flap at it and go, rah, rah. Raccoons, though. We need to teach raccoons, spider monkey, any kind of primates. Yeah, they're just going to take over.
Raccoons, of course, I think are actually marsupials.
No, they're not. Possums are, though. They're raccoons. Possums are marsupials.
They belong to a tree.
They're animals. They're animals. What's that? They belong to a tree? Well,
yeah, there's, genus, typus, that kind of stuff. Biology, this biology
I'm not a biologist, but the only American marsupial is the opossum.
What are they called?
Critters.
I guess they're Pliocene. No, they've existed since the Pliocene. They're
we need to start
largest of the prosonid family. There you go. They're prosonids.
Hang on. They also speak the language. We could
Procyon-idy.
We need to start communicating.
Procyonidae.
We need to start translating their messages to us into some words.
It includes raccoons, ringtails, cacomistyles. I don't even know what that is. Coates, kinkajous, and olingos. I've literally never heard of any of these other creatures. I know what a ringtail is. But the other ones, I had no clue.
All right. Did you have you spun something?
Yeah, simile. So my similes are...
Simile, okay.
You got to be proud as a peacock to be on the best person of the year list for Roger's best person of the year list.
That's right. Or proud as a raccoon, for that matter. Just any animal.
And winning that Golden Globe is like holding the sun in your hands because it's a globe and it's round and it's yellow.
Yep.
And
let's make friends with the raccoons.
A lot like being part of a puzzle. Either you fit in or you get lost under the rug.
That's pretty good.
I don't know if you remember, right before I left, we made that tiger puzzle, and then we missed one piece in the tiger puzzle.
Oh yeah, I still got it. I have a frame for it too, and I'm still missing one piece.
Did you?
I'm gonna leave it that way because you're missing. Question. It's moved about 8 times now, and I thought it's in some storage shed over in Eastern Shore. I'm sure of it.
But there's our Thursday 13 list of Golden Globe winners and best people this year. According to Roger,
That's
anyways.
right. Let's have a spin. Let's have a spin for your story.
Our culture news.
These are one story or two?
It's just one, and it's pretty short.
Okay. Oh, short. Okay.
I try to make my
ready.
Especially today, I try to make my stories as short as I can because lists can go. We can get really up in a list. Limerick.
And I sent you a video. I sent you a video, by the way,
video.
so it's all ready. Not very
Get your
long,
pencil out. It's Limerick time.
Limerick. Read slow.
It's not that short, but it's short enough. Okay. Our story is going to be about Italian culinary tradition. Now, I don't remember. I think we talked about the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage List previously. And I think it was about Italy trying to get accepted into this, and they've succeeded. Italian food is now protected as a human construct that designates how human we are. We're so human. This is by Tokunbo Salako and Gabriele Barbati on Euronews Culture. Italian cooking and its bicultural diversity has been recognized by UNESCO on its list of intangible cultural heritage in a world first. The move rewards how the country celebrates a cuisine as communal activity and applauds its anti-waste approach to recipes. That's right, use all the ingredients in every part of the recipe. Don't throw anything away. And that's what makes it Italian cooking. Italian cooking and its traditions.
Potato peels anymore.
Yeah. Have been hailed as a model to follow and protect by the UN's Cultural Agency. At a meeting yesterday on the 10th of December in New Delhi of UNESCO's Intergovernmental Committee, a unanimous decision was taken to safeguard Italian cuisine on its list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Hello. Sorry, we're getting it. Somebody has subscribed, I think. Oh, welcome. Oh, somebody has a new member on YouTube. Hello, Chase. Thank you for becoming a new member on YouTube.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining the Wholesome Deviants here. I appreciate it.
Wholesome Deviant.
I love how it says it and you said it in Dutch as well. Welcome by Wholesome. Welcome! Right, next.
There you go.
What was I saying? Okay. It's the world's first cuisine recognized entirely, as in the whole everything, all of the ingredients, all of the food, all the recipes, all how they do it, how they make it, how they eat it, all of that has been protected by UNESCO. In a statement, the committee described Italian cooking as cultural and social blend of culinary traditions, praising the practice as a way of caring for oneself and others, expressing love and rediscovering one's cultural roots, offering communities an outlet to share their history and describe the world around them. And now, sadly, it's time for an ad break because we've gone on too long.
Okay, well, give me... Really? That's not even...
Yeah, it's been an hour. Sadly, it's been an hour. Oh, I didn't even...
All right, that gives me time to edit here.
Okay. Right back to the story, though. The story will be available unadded when we post this later. Okay.
Well, you can still talk slower. It gives me time.
Yeah, of course. Cultural and social blend of culinary traditions, praising the practice as a way of caring for oneself and others, expressing love and discovering one's cultural roots, offering communities an outlet to share their history and describe the world around them. And then there's a picture of generation by generation learning how to make traditional pasta. You know, like little shells and different shapes. The UN committee also hailed Italian cuisine for its use of raw materials, their seasonality and artisanal foods, as well as the respect for ingredients and shared moments around the table. People of all ages and genders participate, exchanging recipes, suggestions, and stories with grandparents and often passing down traditional dishes to their grandchildren, it adds. Italian kitchen culture is also equally praised for its anti-waste recipes, which help maintain a sense of sustainability and promote Italy's biocultural diversity. Like those tomatoes that are grown in the Netherlands and originally come from the United States. Good old cultural heritage.
pasta sauce. You stole our tomatoes. Use something else, man. And you don't get these strawberries either.
There's a collective of an ongoing discussion around food which changes the consumption of meals, whether at the dinner table, in schools, solitary canteens, or in trattoria taverns, according to UNESCO's video, which documents Italy's past and present attitudes to its cuisine. There is something, even in America, right? There is something purely Italian about sitting down at a table with a bowl of pasta and, just loud talking, all, passing stuff. That is definitely what media portrays as a very Italian house, right? All the things about Italian Americans, they're always doing that. And even when in The Godfather they go to Italy, right, they're still doing that, eating around the table, talking over each other, yelling,
That's
grandmother's
exactly where
in the kitchen saying, hey, get your finger out of my pasta sauce, it's not ready yet. So there is something Italian about that for sure. The recognition from the UN's Cultural and Heritage Organization has understandably been welcomed by Italy's government. In a message in response, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni said, "This is a record that makes us proud. A cuisine is our most formidable ambassador." Pride, which also translates into good profits, with a menu of culture and cuisine worth at least 250 billion worldwide, according to the Italian government. And so maybe those people in Brussels who were complaining about the fake Italian food can finally got their just desserts. Hey, this isn't real Italian pizza. We're gonna sue you under UNESCO heritage. You can't do this to us.
Right.
Totally not real. Totally not real. All right, welcome back from the break, everyone. Sorry about that.
Welcome
but I
the
had
break.
no more
We're talking about
snoozes, so I couldn't snooze the ads. But Italian food
Italy's
wins.
Trying to protect food integrity. On. Are we ready for the limerick?
I'm ready for your limerick.
Reference The Godfather. It works right into my limerick because foodie fanatics in Italy are tired of food counterfeitily. Anyway, but say the Corleones, when enemies' brains blown, leave the gun and take the cannoli. Kind of rhymes with Italy. Leave the gun, take the cannoli.
I've actually,
one of the more famous.
Actually, I never had a cannoli before until recently. When we went to celebrate my landlady's birthday, we went to the pizza place and we got from a real Italian. This guy came to the Netherlands from Italy. Fresh pizza made there in the oven and everything, but they had also freshly made cannolis. And I was like, I've heard of cannolis my whole life, but I've never even eaten one. They are amazing. And they were €5 each, which is really expensive, but they were very good. So I'm not even mad about it. They were small, right? They're not the big cannolis. They're small little cannolis, like the size of a taquito. €5 for that. It was so good. I had to not eat them because I was going to eat them all, right? I was like, I'm not going to get any more. I will eat them. So good.
You're making me hungry. It's going to be National Cannoli Day.
Time to do a cannoli. Time to do a cannoli stream.
Cannoli.
But yes, thank you for your limerick.
I did send you a video. Okay, so we're going to do 8 hours.
For the cannolis. And the UNESCO cannoli intangible heritage of cannolis, even.
Kind of rhymes with Italy. Counterfeitly. I was really proud of that one.
Let me roll the segue wheel for our last segue.
They don't have to actually be real words, by the way. For counterfeitly sounds like a word, therefore it is a word.
Now it's time for me to write a haiku or 3.
Haiku for this day in history. Oh my lord, is a headline. Did you know it's Alexander Solzhenitsyn's birthday, the Russian dissident who was locked up for writing? What a thing to be locked up for. The old Martin Luther Award, right? Oh my God, you're going against the church. 1845 in this day, the Sonderbund served us with cantons. Their names were 7. There's 7 names. Luzerne, Uri, Schweiz, Unterwalden, Zug, Freiburg, and Valais or something like that, to oppose the anti-Catholic measurements by Protestant liberal cantons. These tensions culminated in a brief civil war in 1847. Okay, people fighting over the invisible man. Oh yeah. 1911, Naguib Mahfouz, the first Arabic writer to be awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature, was born in Cairo. 1936, Edward VIII, which was the guy who married the 3 times divorced woman from America and therefore was booted out of the country, basically.
Really?
Edward VIII's abdication as King of the United Kingdom was formally approved. He was the only sovereign to voluntarily resign the British crown, which he did to marry American divorcee Wallis Simpson. I was watching The Crown, and it's actually pretty funny the way he treated his family after he got booted. He's like, "You guys don't accept my wife." And I'm like, dude, you don't do anything for a living. You're just born into a family. Who gives a shit what you do, right? I mean, just take your money and go. Take your allowance and go. But the part of The Crown was he was showing up when Elizabeth got her father died. She became the queen.
Yep.
And he shows up and he's like, "They cut off my allowance." And I was like, oh boy, this seems like something they did to Andrew, right? He's like, we don't like you. Get the fuck out of here.
No one cares.
Don't forget, Edward VIII, they're kind of softening the blow in this movie because Edward VIII was a Nazi. He was a Nazi sympathizer. That was one of the number one reasons he was booted out, but they won't admit that. 1941, speaking of Nazi, Hitler declared that Germany was at war with the United States following Japanese attacks at U.S., British, and Dutch positions in the Pacific and East Asia. Yeah, thanks, Hitler. You just needed some ass kicking. Is that what it was? 1946, I'm serious. Let me declare war on one of the biggest countries that's not actually involved right now. Okay? 1946, UNICEF, the United Nations program devoted to improving the health, nutrition, education, and general welfare of children was established. They did good work. Unfortunately, UN's been hamstrung by the Trump administration with everything. 1967, the Oscar-winning film Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? A Lesson from Racial Tolerance, premiered with Katharine Hepburn, Spencer Tracy in his last movie, and Sidney Poitier. I don't think that was his last movie. I thought Misfits was his last movie with... Or was that Clark Gable's last movie? Might have been Clark Gable's. In 1972, Apollo 17 astronauts Eugene Cernan and Harrison Schmitt became the last humans to walk on the moon. If anybody asks you who's Eugene Cernan, Cernan, and Harrison Schmitt, you can say they were the last to walk on the moon, with one of them probably being the very last. And I think it was Harrison Schmitt. That is a Norm Macdonald joke, by the way. You know everything about the Kardashians, but you don't know the name of the last person to walk on the moon. Only 7 or 8 people did that, and he's one of the few that can look and say, hey, I was there. So this happened 53 years ago, and we haven't been back since. 1991, American boxer Muhammad Ali fought his last professional bout, losing to Trevor Berbick, who was not really Trevor Berbick's next fight, I believe, was... Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes finished him off in like 30 seconds. It was, Muhammad Ali was finished by that point. He probably shouldn't have been fighting anymore. He just got more Dane Bramage. That's all that happened.
Yeah.
1994, Russian troops invaded Chechnya in an effort to suppress the government led by Dakhbar Dadayev, who, as a republic's president, had declared Chechnya's independence in 1991. And we don't trust Russia's word on anything. We never should. In 1998, Judiciary Committee of the U.S. House of Representatives recommended 3 articles of impeachment against Bill Clinton, to which would be added a 4th article following day actions taken in connection with the, getting the Hummer from Monica Lewinsky. 2012, our Indian artist Ravi Shankar, who was influential in simulating Western appreciation of Indian music, died at the age of 19. Ravi Shankar, who was uncovered and brought to Western culture by Mr. George Harrison. If you watch the concert for Bangladesh, the opening 20 minutes is Ravi Shankar and the sitar. Ravi Shankar, the father of Norah Jones, if people don't know that. Our featured event this day, it was the JFK Heist. Ever seen the movie Goodfellas? We're talking about mob movies. Here's another one. definitely referenced, and it's the one that brought everybody down eventually, was the Lufthansa heist in 1978. Inside job, in a cash and jewels worth more than $5 million were stolen from an air cargo building in JFK International Airport in New York City in this day in 1978. Only one person was ever convicted in connection with the Lufthansa heist, and almost none of the stolen money was recovered. And if you watch Goodfellas, the Robert De Niro character is the one that masterminded it, Jimmy. And once all the idiots that were involved started spending money, harem scarum, like fur coats for the wife, new car, new TV, all of a sudden, you know you assholes are an organized crime and the government's watching you, right? You know that, right? But Jimmy knew, and he started whacking people left and right. That's why not a lot of people were arrested. They were dead.
So
that's what happened on this day. Yeah, if you watch Goodfellas, you'll see what happened to all those people that were in the conspiracy. Yeah, well, you're not going to get interviews from them because Jimmy said, you need to stop spending money, asshole. Because, first of all, you're dirt poor one day. The next day, you got a big friggin' car. That doesn't happen.
Not suspicious at all.
People are just going to ask questions. Suspicious at all. Just dumb people. They think money, here's what money is. It's not to be spent. Spending money is a bad idea. Holding on to the money that you got illegally, you need to, kind of launder it somehow, some way. Not just go out and spend it on shit, And you don't even know how many of those bills were marked, right? If you got a big bunch of cash, you're going to mark like every 5 bills to see where they end up being spent. Anyway, our other biographies today: Dilip Kumar, Indian actor, not the Harold and Kumar actor, because this guy is 103. He was born in 1922.
Living a long time.
1931. He ain't 103, unless that's some really good weed they're smoking, right? 1931, Bhagwan Shah Rajneesh, Indian spiritual leader, very famous in Oregon for his cult that he built a whole town, you can go out, there's a town in Western Oregon, you can go out there, that's where Rajneesh put his cult out there. It's still there. They had a farm, they had their own town. They actually infiltrated the school board and started, Anyway, he was one of those guys that was in a cult. Anyway, he's born in 1931. He's turning, if he was around, he'd be 94. 1935, it's the 90th birthday of Pranab Mukherjee, the president of India. John Kerry, United States Senator, a war hero. Was born in 1943, so he's turning 82. Wow, people getting old. In 1969 is the birthday of Viswanathan Anand, who was an Indian chess player who I've never heard of. A lot of Indian people on today's. Four people from India on today's birthdays. That's crazy. Our National Day calendar is very short. You got National Stretching Day, National App Day. You're using an app right now. And National Noodle Ring Day. So those are everything. Well, let's see. It might not be. It says see more. I'll see if there's more. Hopefully that's all. This day, yes, that's it. Those 3 things: National Stretching, National App Day, National Noodle Ring. So there's your haikus. Not quite haikus yet. We're going to have some in a minute. Your limericks, your puns, your metaphors, your mispronunciations, your persons,
bad jokes.
Your opposable thumb creatures, everything for Thursday, December 11th, 2025, and before Noodle Rings.
Noodle rings.
SpaghettiOs here. SpaghettiOs.
Okay, let's go to our 3 haikus I wrote for our On This Day in History. First one: gilded dreams take flight. In shadows, whispers beckon. Jet streams hold their ghosts. For the inside job, the JFK heist. Because, JFK, jet streams. Yeah.
Hey, Lufthansa, that's like a 4-syllable word, right?
From Denver's clear skies, Kerry's voice on the world stage, peace woven through words, because I guess he was the Secretary of State. I guess it was peaceful back then, in a way, compared to now, at least.
Yeah, he was Barack Obama's second Secretary of State after Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
In his second term.
And finally, on the mat, we stretch. Guided hands unlock the flow. Bodies breathe in peace. Nothing better than a nice stretch on the mat.
Long National Stretching Day. Let me get my video that I sent to you loaded.
Now you have to load the video. Let's check out our international days for the UN observances. Let me actually get it open because I closed it. Here we go.
Oh no.
Is there a day today? It is International Mountain Day. That's right, those things that are the cause of two plates crashing into each other. Glaciers!
Whoa!
Specifically, glaciers live on mountains, and they come down from the mountain and make lakes. And uncover iron, right? Like, that's why you always say about northern Wisconsin. Those glaciers carved up the ground and said, hey, look, we found some treasure. Nearly 2 billion people, including many indigenous people, depend on water from mountains for their essential daily needs, livelihoods, and cultural practices. Most of those rivers you enjoy to canoe on come from a mountain. That's how rivers work. So, make sure you take care of mountains. Do not litter on top of the mountains, because that litter will find its way into your backyard. And let's try cooling down our planet so we don't melt all those glaciers and then, I guess, make Tuvalu sink into the ocean. So, yay, mountains!
Oh. All right.
This has been Allison here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the US. As we finish off another Thursdays 13, I hope you enjoyed our lists, and if you disagree with who the best people of the year were, or who deserves to win a Golden Globe that hasn't won one yet, let us know in the comments below. Yeah. Tomorrow will be our Friday news dump, in which we'll dump all the news you need to hear about, so that you don't have to worry about over the weekend.
So 20 days for someone else to appear as person of the year.
Exactly, we do. And don't forget to please subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Before Coffee Podcast, because we need more subscribers on there to let YouTube know that people are watching us and they care about watching us and they want to continue watching us. So please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Follow on Twitch. I forgot the word I was going to say. And turn those notifications on so you know when we go live and post a video. We always post a video like 6 hours after the show. If you missed an episode, it's going to be there. Except for yesterday where my internet disconnected all night, so I wasn't able to do anything.
Oh my. Okay. Well, double the fun today, right? Okay.
And you can also support the show on Patreon to see some bonus content from before and after the show if you missed that too. Let's go to our miraculous mic drop moment.
Yep.
And we are now finding out more about
this is a pretty scary thing to have to see.
County. Incredible video from a
viewer and also to, I guess, happen to you.
On top of a Toyota Camry.
I sent this to your sister Melanie because she drives a Camry.
The National Transportation Safety Board says
that is crazy.
If you got a Camry,
out of Merritt Island,
if you got a Camry, the plane can land on your roof and not kill you. That's amazing.
West News Brevard County reporter Megan Moriarty live near I-95
that is
now
insanity.
With the very latest. Megan.
I mean, no one ever looks up. Most people don't have skylights to be like, oh, let me make sure plane's not coming.
The pilot there was forced to make an emergency.
So you can't really blame the driver, right? Like, why didn't they get out of the way? How could they have known the plane was
things like the flight track data? They're going to be looking
just
at the
Florida, everybody. That's
of
all.
That aircraft, and then they're going to be looking at the pilot's license and its ratings as well. Now we want to show you that video one more time.
That just blows my fucking mind, right?
What's always the most wild for me is the luck of not only surviving this, but also that somebody filmed it. Does you think anyone would believe you?
Well, they just had dash cams. Dash cams are very common. They're getting more. They're just as
like,
common.
Hey, can you send me that dash cam footage? I need to send it to my insurance.
The Florida Highway Patrol, the pilot and passenger
yeah, no shit. The guy who filmed this, I guarantee it, he was on the phone. Who wants to bid for this video I got? You know, how much you want me to? You know, right? You can sell that video to news channels. Nobody else has that video.
This is in Cocoa, south of King Street. Now we spoke with the driver and his son who took that
explosions though.
Video. They were directly behind that Toyota.
Jet fuel is pretty Explosive.
There's the driver.
Thinking, oh, you know, it's
There's the driver who took the video and the son, not the person who got hit. No.
Yeah, I was gonna be like a child was driving. No wonder.
That's right in front of us. It was so scary.
The person driving was a 57-year-old woman who went to the hospital and she's fine.
You know,
yeah, she's probably still in the hospital.
Real quick.
She's her mom's age, basically. Yeah.
There are 3 agencies involved in this investigation.
Wow, that's just
my mom's been in a lot of
twice.
accidents, but I don't know what she would have done in this scenario.
NTSB says that its investigation.
That is plain good luck. Ah, there's your pun for today.
Another pun.
Of this incident to please
I need to give you a groan for that.
Information on West.com. Covering Brevard County, Megan Moriarty, West 2 News.
I got it. All right, that is the video. I was like, Melanie's got a camera. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.